Welcome to the Big Success Show. It's our Thanksgiving show, and today we're going to share 3 things to be thankful for.
Big Success with the Professor and Mary-Lynn.
As Mary-Lynn said, it's Thanksgiving week, and in Mary-Lynn, there's a poem that I think of every year at this time. I heard it when I was a kid. I mean, I don't think I was even 10 years old.
Is it a poem about food?
It is not.
Oh, okay.
I don't think.
All right.
I hope not, in fact, now that I think about it. But, you know, this clown was performing at a festival in my hometown, and here's what the clown said. As I was walking down the street one day, I looked up in the sky, and a bird pooped in my eye. I'm so glad that cows can't fly. Now, this comes from that great author, Unknown.
Oh, yes.
But the point is, if you can't be grateful for what did happen to you, try being thankful for what didn't happen to you. That's what I learned from this clown.
I can see why you think of this poem at this time of year.
Hi, I'm George Kruger, a.k.a. the Professor.
And I'm Mary-Lynn. Today we're going to share with you 3 things to be thankful for. And the awesome thing about these 3 things is that when you practice them, you're going to feel a greater sense of happiness. So let's pull out the professor's whiteboard for those 3 things.
I'd have a greater sense of happiness if I didn't take my life into my own hands every time I open this closet door, Mary-Lynn.
Well, you know, you could clean it out.
Yeah, that's true.
And then things would be better. So anyway.
All right.
Just
I
be
hear
thankful
you.
that you didn't, get crushed. So.
I am thankful for that.
All right, so let's look at 3 things to be thankful for that will bring you more happiness. Number 1, be thankful for what you have. In a study called Count Blessings versus Burdens, researchers divided participants into 3 groups. Group 1 was asked to journal about things that are burdens in their lives. And Group 2 journaled about the things that they were grateful for. Group 3 journaled about neutral life events.
Okay, so we got 1, burdens, 2, gratefulness, right? And 3, kind of either or neither. So what was the results?
Well, researchers found that Group 2, the ones who were writing about what they were grateful for, had much higher levels of well-being compared to Groups 1 and 3.
Yeah, and so the main takeaway from the research was that major benefits flow from focusing on blessings. And I think, this is one of the things we try to do here at Big Success, Mary-Lynn, is we try to bring research to the suggestion, right? So in this case, we've got good evidence that being grateful actually helps you increase your happiness.
Yeah. And when you think like an entrepreneur, which is what we always talk about here at Big Success, is that thinking like an entrepreneur is that you work with what you have. So you don't spend time lamenting about what you don't have. You say, okay, what do I have at my disposal and what can I do with it? That's being grateful for what you have.
Yeah.
And putting it to good use.
And I will tell you, one of the things I say to myself, I often have interesting conversations with myself, but one of the things that I often remind myself when I'm getting into that place where I'm maybe not as grateful as I should be, I always say to myself, how can I expect God to bless me with more if I can't be happy with what I already have? And I mean, obviously, I'm not starving. I'm not, there's so many things I have to be thankful for, but they're just kind of a function of the society we live in. We're so fortunate to be living in a time when you don't have to go out and hunt all day for your food. You go to the grocery store.
Right.
It's just amazing, all of the wonderful things that we have available to us that sometimes we forget to stop and pause and just have a moment of peace and connect perhaps with a higher power who's hopefully looking over us too.
Absolutely. And so, yes, whenever you think that you don't have something to be thankful for, just take a moment and and really, really think, and then you'll see for sure that you do.
So far we've talked about a clown and the higher power. I can't wait to see what's next.
Well, a flying cow.
Well, there you go.
And a bird pooping in the eye. But anyway, and just so you know, we're citing research today in all 3 ways to be thankful. And we do have links in your show notes to all of this research. So if you want to dig even deeper, you can. So now we're on to number 2. Be thankful for who is in your life.
Yeah, Mary-Lynn.
Oh, I am.
Okay.
Researchers at the University of Pennsylvania asked participants to write about early memories. And then they were instructed to write a letter of thanks to someone who they felt that they had never thanked properly. Boy, we can all look back at our lives and think of somebody.
What a cathartic exercise, right?
I just wish.
Yes.
And so then they delivered this letter of thanks in person.
Yeah, and the participants showed a big, and that's big with 2 G's, showed a big increase in happiness that lasted actually a month on average.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
Those lingering returns.
You know,
of
I had a
happiness.
situation like this with my health teacher, but he was also my baseball coach and basketball coach. Mm-hmm. And I got John Wooden's signature, and I was able to call my coach up because he always talked about John Wooden's book in health class. And so I got to call my professor up and say, hey, I got to meet John Wooden today. I got his autograph. I just want to know how inspiring that part of the class was to me, and I thank you so much for it. So I understand exactly this feeling of delivering something that was with a phone call, but kind of in person.
And then I don't mean to be somber here, but I just lost my dad here in November, early November, and I am so grateful that he knew how much I appreciated him. My sister and I both. We were both talking about this, and it's just, we were in conversation with Dad all the time. We did weekly Zooms with Dad, which you participated in.
Those were
He
fun.
knew how much you appreciated him. And so it's so important to make sure that the people in your lives know how much you appreciate them, because there will be a time when you can't tell them. So tell them now.
And I think the lesson from your dad is like the lesson from so many times, like, the last time you see someone could be the last time you see someone.
Yeah.
And we don't know it in advance, but I guess the reminder to me is don't take people for granted. If the last thing you say is I love you, or I care for you, or hey, I'm here if you ever need me, or just some affirmation, that's going to feel a lot better if something happens.
Absolutely. And when you say don't take people for granted, I feel so many people today often feel like they're not appreciated. And so whenever we can thank someone, like the folks that took care of my dad at hospice, I made sure to thank each and every one of them over and over again. They were angels. And so I'm so grateful for them. I just think anytime you can, if as a manager, thank your employees. As a coworker, thank a coworker who helped you. If you're just getting service at a store, thank the people for taking care of your situation. Thank people.
Another thing that occurred to me as you were saying this, Mary-Lynn, is don't say it behind their back.
Don't what?
Don't say it behind their back. We often talk about talking behind someone's back, and it's a negative thing. But, I know myself, I say a lot of positive things about somebody when they're not together. I'm saying it to somebody else, but I've never told the person that. And it's like, I need to get better about just telling people. Like, there's a person I can think of right now. He's one of the people I admire the most. I've told other people that. I've never told him that.
What?
And so, so the point is, next opportunity I get, I'm going to tell him how much I admire him.
Well, we need to stop the podcast right now. Or let's call him. What's the number? No. All right. Anyway, well, okay. I'm going to keep on you about that. Today we're talking about 3 things to be thankful for. Number 3, be thankful for where you are. We can't help using a study about Thanksgiving, since we're coming up on Thanksgiving, for this one. And here's an easy way to gain major benefits personally this holiday. According to research, study participants naturally experience positive emotions on Thanksgiving than other days. But by expressing their thankfulness, they are more satisfied with life in the days that followed. So just Thanksgiving itself brings a sense of joy, right? But by being thankful, then you get that residual effect.
Yeah, and I think this is often overlooked. Stephen Covey's 7 Habits is one of the foundational books of success.
7 Habits
of highly effective people.
Right.
And habit number 2 is begin with the end in mind. The first one is be proactive. Second one is begin with the end in mind. A lot of people cite that. Begin with the end in mind. But the reality is you can't begin with the end in mind. You start where you are. You have to start where you are. All success starts from where you are right now. It begins in the present. The past is the past. You can't do anything about that. The future is coming, but the only thing you can do about the future is to make the best of today. That starts with recognizing the good things in your life in the here and now.
Yeah, that's thinking like an entrepreneur right there.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
Yes. So let's review the 3 things to be thankful for that will give you a greater sense of happiness. Number 1, be thankful for what you have. Number 2, be thankful for who is in your life. And number 3, be thankful for where you are.
And this Thanksgiving, we're issuing a special challenge to ourselves.
Would that be a big with 2 G's challenge?
You betcha. And we would challenge you as well to start a tradition of starting each day with a spirit of gratitude. It leads to big success.
We want to thank you, our listener, for your loyalty to our podcast. Your ears right now mean so much to us.
Yes.
We are grateful for you. And we hope that we will get your ears again next week. A lot of people talk about setting goals, especially this time of the year with the end of the year coming. But have you heard of goal-setting prep?
Goal-setting prep.
Well, we're going to give you what you need to know next time, so please tune in. Until then,
here's to your big success.
Find big success at biggsuccess.com.